What's good? It's your girl Ian. Today is August 16th, 2026. Now, why do I say the dates in my videos? That's not what this video is about, but I just want to introduce that question. The reason why I say the dates in all my videos is because last year when I did a 30-day challenge to prove to myself that I can upload a video every day to YouTube Shorts, um, I wanted to make sure I said the date. And now it's just a habit. So in case you're wondering why you keep saying the dates, it's just a habit at this point. And I did prove to myself that I could be consistent because I did it for like 6 months. Anyway, now what is this video about? This video is about boundaries and how I feel the lack of them causes medical issues. I'm not a doctor. I'm not, well, I kind of am a medical professional. I am certified in the medical field, but I don't use it, so I'm not a medical professional. Let's just say that. um, but I do feel energetically that can cause a lot of stress. Now, you may see me rubbing my stomach, and that is because my period is 10 days away and I feel bloated. And I just recently found out I have fibroids from a CT scan to check for a different issue. And I found out that my uterus is a bodybuilder because she likes to lift weights too. Okay. They say she's enlarged. I think she's been stealing my creatine and she's been working out harder than I have. So if you see me rubbing my stomach or that is why. Okay. All right. Boundaries. I feel that is why I've had a lot of the issues that I have had over the years, even now, even with all of this. And I'm going to tell you why. I work out, I eat healthy for the most part, and I still develop these things. I'm a chronic healer, let's just say that, because I've been sick a lot, like when I was a kid. And I think it has been due to stress. Due to stress. One thing I have noticed is with my offspring has been sick maybe less than a handful of times. Now, he may have had allergies from time to time, from here and there, time to time, whatever the wording is. He may have had allergies from time to time. But as far as sickness, nope, less than a handful of times. And homeboy is 19 years old. And that is because I always made sure I provided a safe sanctuary for my offspring. I grew up in the most toxic, traumatic household all of my life. And it bled into relationships even when I was an adult. I was attracting the same type of people from my past. And guess what that led me to? Zero boundaries. Zero. So now that's what I'm working on. I'm working on boundary setting and enforcing it. Not just setting it, but enforcing that boundary that I set. Even for myself. I have to set boundaries for myself. So if I say, hey, we're not eating that, that's what I mean. No. No. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta talk to yourself like that. No. If I say I'm not drinking no coffee today, okay, let's use another example. If I say I'm not having an energy drink today, that's what I mean. No means no. I mean, I'll do it with coffee for a day or two. But the point of the matter is, I have to learn how to trust myself. And I feel like I don't trust myself because if I say, okay, this person I feel like is violating a boundary that I set, and then they violate that boundary, and then I don't say anything, I don't trust myself to stand up for myself. And years of that, years of me being a creative, but not really putting it out there. I've made some amazing creations and I don't put it out there. Nobody knows it exists because I just keep it to myself. Um, Even doing this is something I've been wanting to do for over 10 years. And I held myself back. I held myself back by the fear of not having the right lighting so people aren't going to watch, not having the right equipment so nobody's going to watch. Oh my God, I got to have this and that. I watched so many videos on how to set up a studio. And guess what? I haven't used them. I mean, I have so many ideas, especially of a movie that I want to eventually write a script for. Actually, I'm thinking about doing a book first and then the movie, but neither here nor there. The point is, I have so many things that I just want to release, let out, just show. And I think my journey could help somebody else. I feel like I'm withholding healing from other people by not just talking, just saying what I got to say, just being real. Because in my personal life, I have been a safe space for people. People feel, they feel so comfortable talking to me, which is fine. I'm okay with that. However, it gets to a point where they're just trauma dumping and all of that just, I feel my neck starts to hurt. And then because I'm holding all of their trauma on top of mine that I'm still trying to process at the age of 38, about to be 39 next month. That's just extra energy, misplaced, and it should be out. I hope I'm making sense to somebody. I really do. If I need to clarify what I'm talking about, just let me know. If anybody even watches this video. But boundary setting is something I am definitely going to work on. And I think in some cases it's harder to do than it is to say. Because when you have a parent that has been toxic their entire life and they're set in their ways, it could be challenging to let them know, hey, you're crossing a boundary, because even when you let them know that, they try to pull the parent card, even though they had nothing to do with your upbringing. You saw them every now and then, but they didn't raise you. They just like the title, right? But you just show respect because that is your parent. So it could be a little harder, especially when they're older and they're set in their ways. I'm talking silent generation. They ain't no point talking to them at this point. Just either try to go with the flow and understand they don't know what they're doing because this is their programming. I just leave the silent generation, just let them know, hey, this is how I feel. But if they don't want to change, then I just back away. And I just don't show myself to them as much anymore. I just don't give them my energy. So silent generation, that's just another they over there. But when it comes to even, I think boomers are a little the hard nuts to crack. And one of my parents is a boomer. Okay. Gen X can be, you know what I'm saying? I think Gen X, they have a potential to change, but they have to really want that. But I do think Gen X has the potential to change if you say, hey, you're crossing this boundary. They have the potential to do it. Not saying they do, not saying they don't, but I think they have the potential. So it's a lot easier than talking to a boomer or a silent gen. Millennials, that's what I am. I am a middle aged millennial. That's what I like to say. Hey, when it comes to human years, when it comes to what the humans have created, you know what I'm saying, for the 1900s and on, for the early 1900s and on, I am a middle aged millennial. I'll be 39 in less than 30 days. So, um, a lot of us are generational curse breakers, but also a lot of us have lived in that era, and even some of the Gen Zs, the older Gen Zs, but many of us were born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s. So a lot of us had to take care of children that we did not give birth to and we were left alone. While our parents got to go fly away and go do what they wanted to do, and we had the responsibility to open up the door for nobody. Then we're cooking and we're cleaning and yada yada yada. And that taught, I feel like that just taught us, oh, okay, well, we're not allowed to have boundaries because we're just supposed to do as we're told. Now, I will say a lot of the younger Gen Zs in the Generation Alphas, I feel like they have more boundary setting. Oh, well, I don't like it when you say this to me. I don't like it when you do that. A lot of them will tell you straight up. And it's like, dang, we weren't allowed to say any of that because we grew up with who? Gen X, boomers, and silent generation. I was raised by all three. So that's something I'm definitely going to work on this year and implement for real this time, because I can have the boundary in my head that I said and then I don't enforce it, and then now I don't trust myself, and then that breeds an energetic imbalance, a hormonal imbalance, because now I'm stressed out. If I look at my phone after you don't called or text me and I'm like, oh, here we go, I shouldn't be talking to you. If I go visit you or you come visit me or we go hang out and then you start talking, like, here they go with the nonsense. Either set that boundary and say, hey, I don't want to hear that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about evolution. We're here to talk about, you know what I'm saying, what we're doing to get to the next level. Not all that crap from the past. I don't care about what you got going on with these people because you told me these stories 50,000 times already. I don't care. That's the boundary I should be setting, because people will blindly continue to make you live through their stories, their trauma. And I'm not saying that they know what they're doing. They're not conscious of what they're doing. They're not conscious of how that could be affecting you, because a lot of them don't care. They don't ask, hey, how do you feel about me telling you an issue that I'm having? But when you tell me the same issue for the 13th and a half time, and then I tell you, oh, yeah, you told me the story before. Actually, you told me the story a couple of times. And then you keep going with that story again. Okay, now look, it's getting to a point where I can't talk to you now because you're just trauma dumping. Go find a therapist. Anyway, yep, boundary setting.